vandalism and looting, whether it's in D.C. or Portland, Soho, Kenosha, Minneapolis, Seattle, it's all bad, no matter who's doing it. So we must remain consistent. So it's consistency. By pointing out Republicans or non-liberals like me who are equally outraged by this behavior, what you're doing is you're pointing out also the inconsistency, right? The lack of Democrats who weren't doing this when our cities were in flame. That pisses me off. But what pisses me off is what happened yesterday. We're supposed to be the gate. The non-left, the Republicans, the libertarians, the conservatives, we're supposed to be the gate against the barbarians. And yesterday, we looked like the barbarians. And to Jesse's point, it doesn't help anybody, but you will not see Republicans bailing out those who were arrested. See, that is a vital contrast, and Americans know this. So Americans do not need lectures from hypocrites in hair and makeup who pick and choose their favorite protesters, right? So I'm glad that the Democrats are finally outraged by this disgusting behavior. Join the club. I've been there for a year. I do not play favorites with mobs. And also, Jesse is right. The 75 million people, their voices need to be heard exactly the same way Black Lives Matter's voices need to be heard as well. It just so happens that when you're on the Republican side or you're a Trump supporter, you will be held to a higher standard. That means that even though you don't burn down buildings or beat up pedestrians or harass people at their homes, going to people's homes, you're still going to be seen as worse as the people who perpetrate that. To Jesse's point, and then I'll stop, he's right. This is a larger, bigger problem. When President Obama talked to Trump and said, hey, your big problem's North Korea, you better deal with it now. This is the big problem that somebody's got to tell Gramps, that this is something. If you want to unify this country, Joe Biden, you can't sit there and act like the tough guy now. You've got to deal with half a country that feels that they have been disenfranchised, that they've been disrespected, they have been lied to by a media, they've been marginalized by a media. They've been made to feel small by a media. Their eyes are open. This is a red-pilled America. Yesterday was a bubble that burst, but it's a sign of a much, much, much larger problem. And it's going to come back in 4 years. It's going to come back if you don't deal with it, whether it is transparency in elections, voter ID, just being honest might be a start. And stop calling these people rubes and denigrating them because they aren't cool elites, because that's part of this too.